As I mentioned, Michael Moore, after 9/11, he was in England giving a talk, talking about his movie Bowling for Columbine. And a columnist who writes for one of the British newspapers said this, quote, "I took my son to see Michael Moore live at the Round House in North London before Christmas. The U.S. radical and author of the best-selling book Stupid White Men was mostly clever, funny, angry, sharp, iconoclastic, and skeptical about the lies and humbug process by the U.S. government and big business. What we did not expect was to feel so enraged at one point that we almost walked out. It was when Moore went into a rant about how the passengers on the planes on 9/11 were scaredy cats because they were mostly white. If the passengers had included black men, he claimed, those killers with their puny bodies and unimpressive small knives would have been crushed by the dudes who, as we all know, take no disrespect from anybody." End of quote. What the? So Michael Moore goes on Oprah and says, Oprah, the reason so many people have guns in America, they don't have them because of little-faced Jimmy, freckle-faced Jimmy. They have them because of Jamal. Meaning Americans irrationally have firearms because they are irrationally afraid of black people. Same guy who goes on a rant about how it would have been far better to have black people on the planes because they wouldn't have taken any crap. You sort that out for me. Now that same mentality is saying, had those people been black, they would have been dead. Kevin Hart, he got 6 or 8 million followers on Twitter? Two completely different Americas that we are living in. If these people were black, they would have all been shot dead. This blank is past the word sad. At this point, it's pure disrespect to all people of color. Why can't we see the situation handled the same way that we've seen our people handled repeatedly? And the caller made a good point. What percentage of the Capitol Hill police is black? I don't know. I know this. The past chief of the Metro Police, the D.C. Metro Police, Ramsey, is black. I know this. The number 2 person in the Capitol Hill Police, I guess now she's number 1 since the number 1 guy is resigning in a few days. Black female. The police chief in Minneapolis, black and Hispanic. And I've told you we had back-to-back black police chiefs here in Los Angeles during when O.J. Simpson was tried, when the police were being accused of framing an innocent man because they were racist, because O.J. Simpson deigned to have a relationship with a white woman to whom he was no longer even married. So you tell me what that was all about. The police chief puts out a report thoroughly investigating whether anybody, this was during the trial now, not after, during the trial, whether anybody had manipulated evidence, fabricated evidence, planted evidence, deceived evidence, yada blah, etc. They found nothing. Report came out, nobody cared. Just had a conversation with a friend of mine. He has a small business in Chicago. Customer came in. I hate Trump. He said, why? He's a racist. My friend said, what about lowest unemployment for blacks in history? I don't believe it. What about pardoning Jack Johnson? I don't believe it. What about enterprise zones? I don't believe it. What about funding historically black causes? I don't believe it. I'm lying? He said, I just don't believe he did any of those things. I'm Larry Elder.